So let's see. Let me explain what we're going to do because I guess y'all got the you got the email that I sent with the way that I'm going to conduct these sessions, right? They're going to be from 1 to 47. There are 47 different processes in project management, so 47 in the PMBOK. Now, so if you're taking the CAPM or PMP, I think I told you in the email today that I was going to describe what that meant is there are many overlapping subjects. In fact, when I teach the class, they're very similar in the body of knowledge is the same. The only thing that's different is the types of questions. So the questions that I'm going to ask of you here are a little bit harder. Okay, so I write these questions for you, and each week I'm going to write them and provide them to you. And it's going to be a little bit more advanced in the sense that I don't want you to just think about, okay, well, here's the answer, because that's an easy way to do stuff. Instead, I want you to think of why is this the best answer, and why are the other ones not good enough? So when I write these, they're purposely designed to be difficult questions, which is good. So if you start getting these questions over and over, if you start getting them right, then you're going to be in good shape. Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't get them right, that you don't know what the heck you're doing. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you've got to kind of think about how the questions are worded for the exam. So it's fine if you all want to use a video. You can always use video. Normally I do use video, but I am outdoors today, so not exactly sure what's behind me here. But anyway, any questions before we get started? All right, thank you for the great questions. Now, we'll know that we'll go at a pretty good clip because I want to get to some of the questions. Some of these topics you probably already know about, but here's the general agenda. So I will discuss with you, how many of these sessions we can have, but for sure, one per week, and if we can, twice per week. I don't think it's good to go, I know for sure it's not good to go an hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's always less than an hour, probably closer to 40 minutes, somewhere in there. Right? If you cannot make it I record every session. I will always send you a link to the sessions so you can go find these at a later time. The more you review these sessions, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so I'm not wasting your time here. So these are sessions that are designed specifically to help you prepare for the exam. Okay, so what's the agenda? Welcome. Okay, we did that. All right, presentation regarding the topic. So I'm going to first talk to you about the topic. I'm going to start with develop project charter because that's 4.1. And I'm going to discuss key terms from the lesson. I think key terms are important. So much of the examinations, the PMP and the CAPM, so much of those are related to knowing the terms. I've told you guys, those of you who have taken my face-to-face courses, that terms make a big difference. Now, I don't want you to memorize the entire PMP vocabulary or PMI vocabulary. I don't want you to do that. But I do want you to be aware that if you have command of the terms, you're going to do pretty well. And then I've got 3 questions today. I wrote 3 questions for you, and I think you're going to find them. Applicable. So just be aware that they're going to be ones that you have to think through a little bit. I worded these hard, and so I will continue to do everything I can to make them as hard as possible. Some of them you'll say, oh, that wasn't very hard. That's because you're smart. Okay, that's the only reason that's the answer. All right, so then we got question and answer. You can ask me anything about the exam. You can ask me about how to prepare the exam, how to prepare for the exam. You can ask me, what's next as far as your submitting your application. I don't really care what you ask me. I probably have an answer for you because some of you know that I've taught these courses to you in the past. So anyway, and then we'll confirm the date for the next meeting. My guess right now is I've got a business meeting next week. So next Monday will be our next session for our discussion. Okay. All right. So that's the welcome. Any questions at this point? And by the way, you can type in the chat box too. Let me go grab the chat box. There's a chat box in WebEx. Where is that thing? Let's see. Here it is. Holly, Holly, can you not hear? You got Can you hear now?
I can hear now.
Okay, cool. All right. So if you can't hear, thank you for letting me know, Holly, because sometimes this thing is a little quirky, so no worries. Okay, so let's talk about Develop Project Charter 4.1. Don't take anything for granted, okay? So you know which process group are we in right now? Okay, so let me go ahead and check my box. Just, you should know already this. What process group am I in right now? If I'm talking about Develop Project Charter, that's right. All right, so Barry, nice job. All right, so that, don't take anything for granted now. Nothing gets taken for granted when you're preparing for this exam. You want to have a command of the process groups. We're initiating, so let's go back through it. How many process groups do we have? How many process groups do we have? You can talk or chat. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, sorry about that. I gave you the answer. 5. Good. All right. Knowledge areas. How many knowledge areas do we have?
10.
Anthony, 10 knowledge areas. Good job. How many processes do we have? 47. Good job. Nice job. So, okay, don't forget now. 5 process groups, 10 knowledge areas, 47 processes. In the PMBOK 6th edition, the next edition, there are 49 processes. Now, you cannot wait till next year. Knock this thing out this year. You should be thinking about maybe, June, July, somewhere in there. Knock this thing out. Get it over with, because if you're in that little stage where you're, 2017 versus 2018, you're kind of like this, 2017, 2018, and you try to take it right in this window, you might end up in this session over here, and that can be a problem for you because the exam is going to change. Let's knock it out this year. You'll be happy. I've been on that cusp with an exam before, and it was problematic for me to prepare because I didn't exactly know what was next. And it was a different exam, but nonetheless, same stuff. All right, so here's what you should know. Since we know there are 47 processes, Develop Project Charter, what's the number for Develop Project Charter? What's the number in the 4.1? All right, so that's it. We're going to start with 4.1. You guys got that email from me today, so you know we're in 4.1. All right, good. Develop Project Charter, you should know the definition. Now, I don't want you to memorize it because that's not important, but you should understand what it means, and you should know the key benefit. So for all 47 processes, you should have a general idea regarding the definition and the key benefit. Not to memorize, because especially if you're thinking about the PMP, memorization is only going to get you so far. It's not going to cross the finish line for you. So just know be able to identify it. All right, so here it is. Develop Project Charter is the process of developing a document. All right? All right, so those of you who remember from classes that I've taught, there are documents and there are what else? Documents and what? Documents and what? There are documents and I'll give you a word. I'll give you a hint. Starts with a P.
Processes.
Close. Plans. All right. Thank you, Barry. No worries on that answer. But there are documents and plans. So we need to know that a document is not a plan. The charter, as you have just heard right now, the charter is a document. It's created in initiating, which means that it is before the plans. That's what that means. A document is created before the plans. In this case, a charter. What does it do? It formally authorizes the existence of a project. All right, so now you know some key terminology. Now, again, I told you earlier that I don't pat myself on the back, but I'm smart enough to know that key terms make a difference. Key terms. When I see formally authorizes the existence, I know they're talking about a charter. There's nothing else in the PMBOK, nothing else that talks about authorizing the existence other than the charter. So get yourself thinking in that manner. Now, it provides the project manager with the authority to apply organizational resources. All right, so let's go back to this. Organizational resources. Resources include people, capital, equipment, and technology. You could keep going, supplies and so on. You can keep going. So it gives me, as a project manager, the authority to use people, capital, equipment, and technology. What does this all mean? All right, let me change my color here. It all means that we can use money. That's all it means. So now we have the authority to spend to spend money on the project. Okay, so now the key benefit. So I told you, not necessarily memorize, but understand it. The key benefit is a well-defined project start and project boundaries. All right, let's see how much you know here. When I think about boundaries, what's the word that comes to mind when I think about boundaries?
Constraint.
All right, good job. Scope. Iron triangle, good. You guys are pretty smart here. So I'm dealing with smart people, which is scary on a Monday night. All right, but anyway, so scope. Anytime you hear the word boundaries on the exam. Now, if Catherine said iron triangle, that's correct. Time, cost, scope. All right, since Catherine, you brought it up. Yeah, Anthony, I'm trying to go fast so I can watch the Spurs, right? I'm joking. I got to pack for my trip. All right, but I still have to watch the Spurs. All right, time, cost, scope. Time, cost, scope. That's the iron triangle. Okay, good job there. Now, what you're doing right now is what's called linkages. This is what the exam's all about. Linkages. Know and understand that time, cost, scope is the iron triangle. Okay, let's see how smart you are. What else do we call time, cost, and scope? There's a C word. What's the C word for time, cost, and scope? Very good. Jeff, the constraints. You see how you made a linkage there? You see how we've gone all over the map, but we're actually kind of like all really tight to the subject? Does that make sense? You know, we're going here and there, but we're understanding where we are. This is what we have to do for this exam. Some of you I know for a long time, and some of you procrastinate. Some of you are ready for this stuff, but you got to get yourself really honed in and zeroed in on this exam. All right, so now here's the big change from PMI now. PMI is that there's a direct way for senior management to formally accept and commit to the project. So about maybe 18 months ago, PMI said, you know what, let's make sure that the projects that we launch are supported by the senior management. All right, so why is it that senior management wants to support the project? What benefit do we have from that when senior management supports the project? What do they do for us? Buy-in, good term. Buy-in, Jeff, good term. Okay, you guys are too smart for me now. They remove the obstacles, right, Mariah? So those are good. Those are the answers. Okay, so don't mess around with stupid stuff now. Those are the answers. That's it. They clear the path. They make things easier for us. They give us the money. That is what they do. Senior management is critically important. All right, finally, the project charter formally initiates the project. So it means that without a charter, there is no project. That's it. So if there's no charter, there's no project. That's important to know because sometimes, as we know from experience, we can launch a project and never have a charter. PMI doesn't believe in that. All right, good job there. Okay, so some key terms. Now, I pulled key terms from this section. Where did I go? I went to the PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, okay? So why did I go to PMBOK? Some people tell me, oh, you know, the PMBOK is boring, and I agree with you. It's not exciting. I agree. But we need to be comfortable with the terms. Be comfortable with the terms that are in there, and you guys looking at it go, oh, man, that's hard for me to remember that stuff, you know? I get it. But we're going to put it into context. All right, a business case. Business case is a term that comes up. Look at this, document. What's the other document that I just talked to you about earlier? What's the document I just mentioned to you earlier? Charter. All right, so now, all right, good. So now you know that if something comes up on the exam and they're talking about the business case, you now know it's a document. From the standpoint of PMI, it's not a plan, it's a document. It describes the necessary information from a business standpoint. Why? Because businesses care about two things. They care about making money, and creating internal efficiencies. So better process management, making money and creating internal efficiencies. That's it. That's what businesses care about. And so why do we launch projects? Because we want to make money, or because we want to be more efficient with the way we run our business. All right. So again, some of you know my examples. I can talk about the life insurance example and so on, but I don't want to prolong this discussion longer than I have to. All right. Now, enterprise environmental factors. Enterprise environmental factors, if the way that I want you to remember this, most of the time, okay, I said most of the time, these are factors that we cannot control. So, for example, have you ever worked in a company that is not pro project management? Have you ever done that? You worked in a company that's not pro project management? The answer is yes, right? We worked on it. So, try to change that culture. Try to change the culture. Some of you know I worked at USAA. USAA is a great company here in San Antonio. However, sometimes it's hard to change that culture. Some of you work at the city of San Antonio. Some of you work at Rackspace. And all of you have different types of cultures that you're dealing with. Okay, so that's the culture aspect. Know the enterprise environmental factors, and also know what is called the OPAs. OPAs are organizational process assets. Let me ask you this. If you want to get funding for a project, is there a process you have to follow within your company to get more money for the project? Is there a process for that?
Yes.
There is, right? You can't just go up to the CFO and go, hey, listen, I heard you're in charge of finance. Can I get that check real quick? No. I work in budgets. I manage budgets. There's a process. Talk to that manager. Talk to that manager. Talk to that director. Talk to that VP. Oh, okay. We'll give you the money 3 months later. That's the process. That's the protocol. So an organizational process asset is how the company does business, the policies, the procedures. Don't forget this. I'm going to give them to you right now. Policies, procedures, protocols, historical information. Sorry for all these terms. If I had to spell them all out, it'd take me forever. Lessons learned. So policies, procedures, protocol, historical information, lessons learned. These terms are specific to OPAs. And don't forget that. You should memorize these. Some of you have a sheet that I provided you. If you don't, I will make sure you get it. I'll probably email it to you. Just make sure you have it, okay, with the information. All right, so now you got that. OPAs, enterprise environmental factors. These are not the only terms related to develop project charter, but they are important. Any questions at this point? All right, good. You guys are around the ball then, because you know all these answers. All right, here we go. Ready for a question? Okay, so I wrote these for you today. So let's see how we do. Which of the following is the best description regarding the status of the project initiator? A, it is preferred the initiator is an established enterprise with sufficient funds to cover all project expenses. B, the initiator should be at the appropriate level to secure funding and commit resources to the project. C, the initiator and sponsor should be different people to avoid any conflicts of interest. Or D, the level of influence of the initiator should be assigned based on expected return on investments for the project. All right, before you answer, I want you first to tell me what's the best, not the best answer. Know what the best answer is, know what the right answer might be, and know what the distractor is. So before we start, what's the distractor? What's the one that's obviously wrong? See Charlie? All right, tell me why C Charlie is wrong. Okay, you guys are pretty good. So why is C Charlie wrong? Okay, good. So the initiator and sponsor should be, so that's right. Okay, so Holly, good job. You're going to get a round trip ticket to Hawaii based on Jeff. He's going to be able to fund that for you this year, okay? All right, that's right. The initiator and the sponsor are the same. Okay, so now if you go into the PMBOK, it's explicitly stated. But what's the purpose? What does the sponsor do for the project? What do they do?
Fund it.
Mm-hmm. They pay for it. And guess what? The initiator does too. Okay, good job. All right, good. Okay, so now we said the level of influence based on the. Okay, so why is D wrong? Why is D incorrect? Why is D incorrect? I'm waiting.
It shouldn't be due to the investment of return.
That right. So right, the level of influence is based just on the fact that I'm the sponsor. I can do whatever I want, right? So it's like putting the cart before the horse, right? That's the idea. Right. Okay, good. That's correct. Right, Jeff. All right, so what's the best answer? What's the best answer? The best answer.
B.
Alpha Bravo.
Bravo.
All right, Jeff is sticking with A. All right, we got a Bravo and an A. All right, so, hey, Jeff, before you say Bravo now, we got a little problem right here. See that word right there? Remember that? That word is a problem word for us, isn't it? Right? Now, here's the point: is that you're right. It makes sense. It's a good word. It's a good option. But all means that even if we went over, we're still going to pay for it. Okay? So it is there. It is a possibility. Where is it? Right here. I don't know where it is here. It's a possibility, but the issue is that it's not the best answer. Does it make sense why this is the best answer? Does that make sense? That was a problem. Okay, let me explain something very important for the exam. This option that this idea I'm going to explain to you will help you answer 10 plus questions on the exam. All right, so we provide our effort, our level of effort is based, so level of effort for anything, level of effort is based on the needs of the project, So if the project needs more work, more planning, more resources, then we provide them. Let's go back to this option here. The initiator should be at the appropriate level to secure funding. So does that mean that maybe the person should be a vice president? Maybe. It does, right? Maybe. Can they get the money? Can they get the people? Can they get the capital? Can they get the equipment? Can they get the technology? Based on the project needs. Based on the project needs. Okay, does that make sense? Easy or hard? That is correct, Jeff. That is correct. Now, I purposely wrote that question to trick you a little bit because in the PMBOK, they'll use the word initiator to mean sponsor or vice versa. Okay, the reason I'm writing the questions like this is because a term like this can throw you off. All right, let's move on. Okay, as a new project manager working for Allied Distributors, you are concerned about the little support you've received from upper management for your IT project. Although funding was originally approved, it takes weeks to release the money. Your email communication with the executives is often ignored. What is the most likely reason that your project is facing obstacles? All right, A, the business leaders are unconvinced that your project has strategic alignment to the organization's objectives. B, the project has received a rank lower than the required threshold as specified by upper management. C, the project lacks the necessary financial support based on updated work performance information. Or D, the project team was unable to make the necessary alignment to the strategic plan. All right, what's your distractor? What are you going to get rid of? What do you think? What are you going to get rid of? Okay, good. I'm glad you got rid of B because B I thought was a player for a while. What's the problem with B though? Catherine, what's the problem with B? Anybody? That's right. Catherine, good point. Good answer. Okay, we already are approved to go. Plus, did we get told anywhere in the question that there was a rank system? Did you read anywhere in there that there was a rank system? You didn't, right? So please don't make it up. Don't make it up. Don't think, oh, well, there's a rank system of this company. Don't make it up. It doesn't exist. You're making stuff up. So just be aware that if you're not told, don't assume. Now, in a regular company, do we have a rank system? Yeah, we do. But you're just not told here. All right, so B's gone. What else is gone? Okay, good. All right, I like C's being gone. Tell me why C's gone. Daniel, why is C gone?
The reason why I would say C, sorry, typing was taking too long. The reason why I would say C is gone because it doesn't say anything about the project not having necessary financial support, and the fact that there has been there's been a problem with communication. So how can WPI be tracked or monitored at this point to say that that's the reason why the project is facing obstacles?
That's good. That last Daniel was a better answer part. So we're already in executing because we have WPI. Work performance information is only available after we're doing the work, right?
Right.
So the project is gone. So we're moving. So yeah, it's like, again, we're looking at something once it's already been approved. That's too late. Good answer there. Nice job. All right, now we got between alpha and delta. What are you going to get rid of between alpha and delta? You going to keep A, Mariah, or going to get rid of it? Get rid of A? All right. All right, guys, here we go. Let's look at this. The business leaders are unconvinced that your project has strategic alignment to the organization's objectives. Here, the project team was unable to make the necessary alignment to the strategic plan. What's the problem with Delta? What's the problem here?
Who's the project team?
Yeah, it could be me as a business analyst who I don't know anything, right? But what does this one make sense? Why?
Their upper management.
You see that now? Do you see it? Just type yes, so I'll know. You see where I'm going with this stuff? You see why you can get thrown off? Because the project team is too general. The project team is too general. But it could just be the vendor. Remember, the team can be a vendor. The team could be the plumber. So this is why this answer is separated, okay? Because of that term right there. Because of that group right there. All right, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense because this is, yeah, sure. Sorry, I've got marks all over. That should make sense though, right? Read these things carefully now. All right, one more question. All right, the business analyst was tasked by the functional manager to conduct a business case analysis on the new airport project. The project was, let me magnify this a little bit. The project was finally approved after 3 years of being on the inactive list. The city has approved the addition of a new runway, which will accommodate commercial airline traffic. Of special importance to city officials is more nonstop flights, as this will likely improve the chances of qualifying for business conventions. What is the best advice you can provide the business analyst regarding the creation of the business case? Okay. A, make sure to consider the market demand for the runway because poor planning will reduce return on investment capability. Okay. B, contact the legal team to ensure the vendor contracts are in place before making any further decisions. C, consider the enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets that are likely to impact the project. Or D, engage in the appropriate level of requirements gathering from key stakeholders. Okay, so you've got a runway that's being built for this airport. But the question is, what is the best advice you can provide the business analyst regarding the creation of the business case? This is called now, let me tell you what this is called. This is called the stem of the question. All of this stuff is extraneous information. You don't care about an airport being built or an airport runway. This is the question right now, the stem. All right, so let's take that. What's a distractor? What are you going to get rid of? A and B, make sure to consider the marketing. Okay, good. I would get rid of A and B too, but why do we get rid of A?
I don't care about return of investment.
Because I don't even know what it means. That would be one reason. All right, so make sure to consider the market demand. This has already been approved, right? Yeah, you already have it. You've already approved the airport runway. So the market demand, we already know we need it. It's been on the inactive list, but it's already been approved. Okay, good answer there, Anthony. Good, that's gone. Contact the legal team to ensure the vendor. Why is B gone? Why is that not even relevant?
Legal team.
Legal team number one, but obviously we can move forward. Yeah, I mean we've got the plan to go. So yeah, I guess we can go. Now, this could possibly be a right answer, it's just not the best answer. All right, what about C? Consider the enterprise environmental factors and OPAs that are likely to impact the project. Is that possibly an answer? Is that possibly an answer?
Yes.
Yes, it's possibly an answer. Is it the best answer? Engage in the appropriate level of requirements gathering from key stakeholders. What do you think is a better answer, Charlie or Delta?
We want stakeholders to be involved.
Delta. This is a better answer because OPAs is like day-to-day operational stuff. We're being asked a big-time question. Should we run with this runway? Well, guess what? Go talk to the key stakeholders. On a level of 1 to 10, the 1 to 10, this question is probably a 9 as far as difficulty. there's a lot of stuff going on. Here's what's going on. We've got the consider the demand because poor planning will reduce. You've got a lot of negative terms in there. That makes this question a little bit harder. But do you see where if you look at it, taking a step back, that this is like what guides the rest of the decision making? That one right there? This one was a good answer, though. This was a right answer. This is the best answer. Make sense? That's right. That's right, Jeff. All right. Let's see what I have here. Questions. How were these questions? Easy or hard? Were they helpful to you? Yeah, I thought they were hard too. I purposely did that,
Yeah, they really get you, like, I agree with Jeff. The questions really get you thinking. But yeah, very helpful because I think about even going through a process of when I take the test, like going through making sure I'm not looking for anything unnecessary and creating more, I guess you could say, panic than what I need to for an exam.
Right. Hey, I had somebody tell me the other day, I showed up to the exam and I was shocked. That's a problem. You should not be shocked at the exam. You should be shocked somewhere else, not at the exam. The exam these are the questions now. I mean, remember, I've taken a lot of these exams. I really don't go into questions and I go, wow, what in the world is that? I don't do that anymore because I'm using the knowledge and the test-taking techniques. Okay. Okay, so let me know about the time. 8 p.m., is that late? 8 p.m. Central? I know some of you are not Central. Is that late or early would be better? 7 p.m., lunch hour? What do you think?
For me personally, 8 p.m. is fine because I get off of work and it takes me about an hour and some change to get home, and I need some time to unwind. So 8 p.m. is good for me. Okay.
8 p.m. Central. We'll keep it for another week. So, and sometimes if it's okay with you guys, I might go twice a week, depending on where we're going. And know that if you can't make it, that's fine. We'll just record it and send you the recordings, and I'll send you a link where you can find all the recordings. Now, do pass the word to other people. Y'all pass the word. How'd y'all hear about it? From so pass it around?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll try to do twice a week too. It just depends on my schedule a little bit, but I've got to write the questions too, so that's the other part. So, all right, I'll send you the recording and I'll send you the date for I'll send you the link and email for the next week, next Monday. Okay.
Okay.
All right, y'all be safe and enjoy the Spurs tonight. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Night.